Aubrey and Ryan Midget joined us in this Rays of Hope segment to talk about their son Jackson's life in the world of rare and undiagnosed diseases. They share a wealth of terrific insights related to their journey, but my favorite was this: you're doing a good job. As caregivers, sometimes we forget to pause and remember that what we're doing is very difficult and we're all simply doing our best. Even though our specific journeys are diverse, caregivers share that knowing and understanding of one another. Though it can feel as if we're alone, there are many of us walking similar journeys. There is an abundance of gems for caregivers in this conversation, so you do not want to miss it. Here are Aubrey and Ryan Midget with Amy Braglia-Tarpey in this Rays of Hope Spotlight.
Hi, Aubrey and Ryan. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really thrilled that you are both here to talk about your story and your journey with Jackson and how it relates a little bit to Gus Gear. So I want to just kick it off by saying thank you for being here. And then we'll just dive into some questions and get started. Where do you call home?
We've called home Virginia Beach, Virginia for quite a long time. I originally was in San Diego, California, but we were military and uprooted here. So he and I met here and have been here, what is it, 13 years?
14,
14
yeah.
years we've been together now. So yep.
Oh, wonderful. Can you introduce us to your amazing child, to Jackson, and whatever you're comfortable sharing about their medical journey?
Yes, Jackson is our 8-year-old little boy. He's not so little anymore. He presented ill from birth. He started with airway defects and there was a lot of, he would turn blue. We would have issues with stridor and different things. So we had surgical intervention for that. And after that, we started to have some GI issues, some issues with swallowing. And it kind of led from a G tube to a GJ tube to TPN dependence um, because of intestinal failure. As our journey kind of went on, we then went to Cincinnati Children's, right? And then
We stopped by CHOP for a little bit.
yeah, we had been to a few different places because there was a concern for mitochondrial disease. And then he was diagnosed with eosinophilic esophagitis. So we headed up to Cincinnati Children's to see the facility up there. And kind of as it's progressed, he is now in a cohort of kids that is being studied at Cincinnati Children's. He The closest thing that you can label him as macrophage activation syndrome or HLH, basically the macrophages, which are the good white blood cells, in his case, decide to attack everything. So he, as our journey has progressed, he's an intestinal failure. He's got an ostomy now. He lost his colon because of the disease. So as it is right now, we've moved him to palliative care, and he's kind of sitting just in a stable spot with some immunosuppressants and TPN, and he's 100% IV. So I think that's kind of
It's a pretty good overview of it.
where we're sitting right now. He is technically undiagnosed because we are so rare. But we've kind of gone through the journey and have settled where we just kind of want quality of life. So I'd say that's kind of where we're at with him right now.
Yeah, the rare diseases can really, make the journey even tougher with all the lack of knowledge that clinicians have and that we have just in general. So that can be quite a challenge.
Yep.
Can you tell me about what life was like before and after Gus Gear?
Do you want to tell the story of
I mean, I'll let you tell the story, but I mean, he's a typical boy that wants to,
climb and move? And
yeah.
what was he? Maybe 18, 20 months old, maybe something. He was under 2. We first got our line, I think, around 18 months old. And I don't even remember what he was doing, but he broke it. He cracked the line. I mean, we had it taped up to as much as you could. And we turned around and TPN was all over the floor. And we ended up at the hospital getting a line repair. We were new parents too. Like we dealt with a PICC line, and then now we had the Hickman. We were new to dealing with this. And you know, that's kind of where I spoke with a friend who had been kind of in the line, had lines and stuff. And she was like, I'm buying you a Gus gear. I was like, what is this? What is the Gus gear? Um, and then sure enough, a few days later, it showed up at my door. She asked me measurements, all that kind of stuff. And then, that's kind of when I actually started using Gus gear. I have a picture of him when he was really little running across, like he's halfway across my living room and you can see the curly tubing like stretching, but you see him in his little Gus gear and it's, and I connected with Sarah. We've talked a lot over the years about Gus gear. And, when she shifted to a new model, we were able to kind of work with that and use that. And I mean, that was back in 2017,
Okay.
I believe. So it's been 7 years now that we've had it. And it's just like any other piece of clothing for him. But it's so much more. So it's kind of our entry into Gus gear, and we've had them ever since. He does not go a single day, or he's 24 hours, so he's connected 24 hours to his lines. So he does not go a single hour a day without having it unless he's bathing. So it's kind of our, do you have anything else with the,
I think that covers it pretty well.
yeah, and he still likes to scare us with potential line breaks. But since then, I will tell you, we have not had a single line break in 7 years. Knock on wood, that was me.
Yeah. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the realm of home parental nutrition, line infections and line breaks are very common occurrences, and also very dangerous. And so, it's great to hear that you've been able to use Guff Scare to, help to prevent those problems and, keep your child at home. That's wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you for using us over all these years. So, what does Jackson like to do for fun these days?
He's an interesting kid. I mean, he just got into like just playing some video games more recently. He's always done Legos. I mean, he's got more Legos than we could
He's
possibly count.
convinced you to build a 10,000 piece Titanic set
Yeah.
that they're working on right now. Legos all the way. I mean, he loves to just like explore things. So
Yeah.
he'll see something on a YouTube video and then he'll kind of explore and
And just random topics that you would
Yeah.
not expect an 8-year-old to even have any interest in.
I mean, loves stuffed animals, loves animals. He's just a builder and a thinker. Yeah. I would really describe him as that. And he's a phenomenal kid. He is in school right now. We've finally gotten to the point where he's able to go to school full time. And he absolutely adores just being a kid again. And I think that's really the goal, is just to let him normalcy, I guess, even though normalcy cannot really be defined in our world. But for him, it's just doing the things that his sisters do. I have twin 10-year-olds as well. So, and I think just being himself.
Mhm.
So
That's great. Legos sound like a lot of fun and a lot of work.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of art.
a lot of cleanup.
Oh my goodness, yes. And money, but